Intellectual stew. Oh, we're cooking something true.
Marriage for him is like making mashed potatoes.
Intellectual stew. Real raw and relevant for you. With James Kirklin guiding through the deep, the light,
Let me ask this.
the old, the new intellectual stew. Yeah, we're stirring up the view. Intellectual stew. Oh, we're cooking something true. Intellectual stew. Real raw and relevant for you.
All right.
With James Kirklin guiding through the
I
deep,
don't like my background.
the light, the old,
Ooh.
the new intellectual stew. Yeah, we're stirring up the view.
All right. What's up? What it do? Time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirklin. And I am excited to be here. Listen, we missed out on last week's show because honestly, I just didn't do it because it was my birthday. I celebrated my 54th birthday, and so I didn't feel like doing a show, so I didn't do it. So y'all charge it to my head, not to my heart, but I kind of did exactly what I wanted to do. And yesterday was my middle child, my daughter's 24th birthday. So every year she gets one, I get one. So I guess I'm getting a little bit older, but I guess that's better than the alternative, right? It's better than the alternative. Listen, as you come in tonight, do me a favor, share this thread. I do have Anne Alexis with me tonight, and she's going to be coming in just a moment. But it's better when you all are involved in the conversation as well. So, y'all, as you come in, share this thread. Let me know where you're listening from, and we'll get the conversation started. I'm going to go ahead and bring her in now, and we can kind of let her introduce herself, and we'll set the tone. We really don't have, let me fix this right quick. Let me fix this so it looks the way it looked a minute ago. There we go. There we go. All right. What's up, Ann?
Hi, James.
How are you?
I'm well. I'm excited for tonight because I don't know what we're doing.
I don't
So,
need listen, look, that makes two
so
of
we're
us. I
gonna
don't
have some fun, and I like fun.
you
So
like fun. Yeah, you know I always have a couple of tricks up my sleeve, so you know something's gonna evolve from
okay.
this conversation. I'm just trying to share it and let people know that we're on.
All
Uh,
right.
but yeah, something's going to evolve from the conversation. That's part of the goal. I've been putting it out there that we're going to be doing. Well, first of all, last show we had, and I wanted to get away from the heaviness because I've been heavy week after week. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, so I kind of wanted to step away from heaviness tonight, even though we did shame as a liar and we got some good responses from it. And it's caused us to potentially be doing this show entitled, well, we're not potentially, we're going to do After Hours with Anne Alexis and James. And we both have kind of been getting to know each other and kind of learning each other's goals and what we hope to achieve and all those types of things. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it because if our conversations could reach half the magnitude of the conversations we have privately, I think somebody's going to be all right out of this conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited too.
Yeah, and I appreciate
Not
you.
be talking about shame all the time,
You
but
said what now?
we will not be talking about shame all the time in the after hours. That is definitely not the plan.
So tell me and tell those who are listening, what do you envision for the after hours?
Mm, I definitely envision something that is a bit more fun, kind of game oriented, where we talk about things that are real and experiences that we all have in common, but we kind of try to bring a lighter side to it.
Yeah.
To your point, a lot of the emotional stuff can be really heavy. I think we'll be talking a lot about relationships and a lot about communication and what it is to bring joy and fun into relationships and into communication. What it's like to maybe show people a little bit about what it's like to be vulnerable,
Yeah.
um, not be so scared to open up and to share. So yeah, I envision a lot of realness. Is what I envision. A lot of realness in the topic choice, a lot of realness in the dialogue.
And that's the key word I want to really highlight: dialogue. It's not meant to be a monologue. And when I say dialogue, because Ann and I are an entity, because it's James, it's Anne Alexis and James. So we're an entity and we're engaging with you. And so the dialogue is between us and you. So we don't ever want it to make it to seem like a monologue. I tell them all the time that I don't I don't always, and I think you agree, I don't always give you the right or wrong answer, because my right answer might not be a right answer for you. So I try to give you a relevant answer, because something
Mhm.
that fits your situation. I think everybody's answer is custom made. I think it all has its own individual identity. I think it has its own fingerprint. But so many times we try to put everybody in a box and put everybody in a category and say, okay, if you have these symptoms, then you must have this. But no, if God anatomically made us all with different strands of DNA and different and all with our own fingerprints, then why can't we have our own individual solutions to our individual problems? So that's what I want, and and that's what attracts me to you, especially with the somatic healing piece, is that you help people find their individual, find the strength in their individual identities.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people know the answers already to their questions too.
Okay. Okay.
And sometimes people just need permission, to make new choices, to choose different things, a safe space to speak about and navigate their thoughts. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm definitely looking forward to being able to supply that to people, to offer that to people.
And that's a major sacrifice, because that's what you do all day long. I know
It
you made a joke. You made a joke earlier today. You said, last thing you do is you watch a therapy show in your house because you do therapy. Okay, dull. So to bring that to the show, that's a major piece. And you have to understand, y'all. You don't have to, because you can do whatever you want to do. Y'all grown. But if you take the time to understand just a piece of Anne's background, Anne has, since in her adult life, since she graduated from college, she's visited and or lived in over 75 countries. She's gone to lived in Paris, and went to study at Le Cordon Bleu to be a chef. She's lived in Peru. She's worked in Costa Rica. She's been all over the world. So she's seen extreme poverty, but she's also cooked on like jet sets and yachts and all those types of things. So all of that exposure, I tell people that we are, and you tell me wrong, you're just so mad at killer, you smarter than me. You tell me if I'm wrong. But I tell people that we are the effects of what we've been exposed to and what we've embraced. And
absolutely.
that's we're the effects of what we've been exposed to. And limited exposure produces limited effects, right? And so, and so many people base life off of limited exposure, and it's a whole different world out there. And what I'm thankful about is that you and I reconnected, and now you bring all of that exposure to the show, and you bring that to our audience. And I can't wait until they discover you and discover us. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Yeah, I love it that you mentioned that when we limit our exposure, we limit our minds, and we're
Yeah.
designed to be limitless. So when we start following in the status quo, and we start worrying about doing things like, I don't know, fitting in, It becomes so limiting. We're so creative, like you said, we're so unique to our fingerprint. So I often wonder why everybody's doing the same things.
And I think it's always the generation just before, that puts the, you know, I I said, I said one of the I issued a challenge one time on the show to parents. I said, allow your child to choose, and then cultivate that choice.
Ooh.
Because so many times we don't allow them to choose, we choose for them, right? And reason why we choose most times is because it's something that we're familiar with, because we don't have to stretch ourselves to come out of our comfort zone, right? But
Right.
if we allowed our child to choose, say for instance, my child chose to play the violin, you know what I'm saying? Now I might not know much about the violin, but if my child chooses that, and I choose to cultivate that choice, then I'm going to be on the internet trying to find somebody. If I can't afford the most expensive teacher, I'm going to find, a school. I'm going to find something, whatever I can do creatively to cultivate that choice, right? And then if I cultivate that choice, then my child's gift might make room for it, because somebody might hear him and say, you know what, I'm going to sponsor him because he's that good or she's that good. I don't know how I'm getting on that tangent, but we guess what you did. That's right. You said we're designed to be limitless, but we put limitations on those, on that potential. And that's such a sad state to be in. Such a sad state to be in. So y'all come on in the room tonight for real. I'm trying to wait on y'all for a little bit before we get into this stuff. And let's have a good open mic night tonight. If not, Ann and I are just gonna have a conversation. I don't have a problem with it because I like talking to her anyway, so it's fine with me. Go ahead. You got.
To your point, one of the things I was thinking is how I often, like, I speak to clients towards that end, because it's like when a child's learning to walk, it's like they can do no wrong. They're constantly falling down and stumbling and rolling around and all of that stuff. But it's like as soon as children learn to walk, everything they do is a mistake. It's like everything they do. I don't understand why we don't continue with that thought process of the fact that learning requires constant redos, just like life learning. Life skills are no different than learning how to walk. It takes time and you fall down quite often while you're learning, but it's like you'll come home. Why did you make this grade? Why did you do that? Why aren't you doing this? And it it actually stifles us, right? And in so many ways, it keeps us from feeling confident enough to just give ourselves over to the learning process, to the life process.
It's definitely a process. And it's ironic that you mentioned it. I remember when my son was playing baseball growing up, his 10U season, he played on an all African American team. And it was our first time doing it. They coach different, but they coach different. They coach hard, and sometimes you have to kind of, most people don't check them because a lot of times it's a bunch of single mamas, that's coaching them. So they think you're supposed to holler at them and all that kind of stuff and yell at them and all that. Well, this was the age where they're learning how to hit the change up, and the change up looks totally different coming out of the hand. It almost looks like a curveball. And so, and a lot of kids can't throw it or couldn't throw it. So the coach had got to the point, because the kids would look so bad, he would tell them, don't swing at the pitch. Or if they did swing, he would yell at them and all those things. So we were riding home one day and my son said, Dad, I'm not, if coach tell us to swing, I'm not swinging. I'm not swinging. I don't care what happens. I'm not going to swing because he's going to yell at me. I said, no, if you see the pitch that you think is yours, you swing the pitch. And then, and he's like, no, I don't want Coach Wallace to yell at me. Next game, we lost. And the coach wanted to have a session where he wanted to holler at all the, at the kids and want to talk to the parents about why he hollered at the kids. And I said, and I raised my hand, and I'm different because I'm one of the only dads that's there, right? I raised my hand. And when I raised my hand, what I said was, I said, Coach, I don't mean no harm, but if you yell at my son like that again, he don't play for you no more. He said, huh? Well, when they get to high school, they're going to want to play, and coach going to yell at them then. I said, yeah, but he might not want to play in high school because he remember how you yelled at him at 10. I said, you coaching a 10-year-old baseball team like you coach a 15-year-old basketball team. And it's a totally different mentality. Don't holler at my kid no more. And I
Mm-hmm.
told him just like that. I said, don't holler at my kid anymore. And after that, he changed his whole coaching style. And we lost one more game the rest of the season. So many times we put those subliminal limits on our children. And it's such a sad state. And the sad reality is that mentality follows us all the way through life.
That part, that part right there is so critical. Like, since when did yelling at someone ever help them retain more information? And then you grow up and you yelling at me because you want me to do something. See where that gets you. Like,
Sure
it's
will, man.
like it's it it really doesn't make any kind of logical sense to induce mass anxiety and stress in order to get a positive outcome. I mean, very few people work really, really well under pressure. That's
Yeah.
definitely a unique systematic framework. It's a unique nervous system structure. The average person doesn't work super well under pressure.
Yeah.
Usually, repetition is the best way to get somebody to learn something, not
Yeah.
yelling.
Yeah, you can't yell at me. And I honestly, I'm the type that if you yell at me, I don't know if it's a cancer part of me, whatever, but I'm shutting down because I don't hear you anymore. I'm too grown to get yelled at. And sometimes when you yell at people, and I can attest from a child that we'll take it until we don't have to take it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because and I remember I stopped a little girl in the store. I tell this story all the time. I stopped a little girl in the store for yelling at a little baby, 2-year-old baby. And I said, one day he gonna take it out on everybody that look just like you because he can't take it out on you right now. And she
Mm-hmm.
looked at me like,
Mm-hmm.
her eyes got big. I'm like, girl, because when he's hitting his girlfriend, maybe he's thinking about you. What you did is look, what is going on? This internet is clowning. They tell me to use the Ethernet, and the Ethernet still ain't doing what I'm supposed to do, Corey. But did that what I said made sense, right?
Absolutely. Like, you have daughters.
You with me?
Do you
Okay.
want do you
Oh yeah.
want a man yelling in your daughter's face and for your daughters to accept that behavior? Then why would you, as a man, yell in their face and teach them that that's okay?
No,
Like,
man, I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't. Just the meanness of people to one another just blows my mind sometimes. Just
right?
I don't get it. I know it blows my mind completely. This internet's getting on my nerves tonight, and I don't know why it won't let us be great.
It's yeah, the keeps going in and out, the audio. The visual's good
Yeah,
though.
visual looks real good. Oh
Yeah.
my bad. I like the way you comb your hair. I like the stylish clothes you wear. I'm talking the song. I'm talking the song. I'm talking the song. I was gonna let us play a little game tonight, but I was hoping some other people would show up so they could. I guess I didn't come on last week, so they think I gave up or I wasn't coming back no time soon.
You have like thousands of podcasts. What kind of game were we
I
gonna
was gonna play red flag or green flag. I was just gonna, put some scenarios up, and as I put those scenarios up, I was gonna get your opinion whether you thought it was a red flag or a green flag, and then hopefully if the audience would have been involved, then of course they would have been able to tell us if they thought it was a red flag or a green flag, all that kind of stuff. That's what I was trying to do. I still can, I still am. Like I said, I see a few people have joined us, but haven't
Are
many
you gonna give
joined
your
just
opinion
yet.
too? Are you gonna say if it's a red flag or a green flag also?
I will. I will. I try to. I used to think I used to think we miss green flags looking for red flags. I don't really look for red flags, but if they appear, I depend on discernment to show it to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a flashlight out like I'm looking for the bad because I think sometimes people get so consumed by the idea of red flag that they go in expecting to fail, looking for the bad in people as opposed to looking for the good. I don't know. That's just me.
I think people love to turn red flags into green flags. And the other day I heard about a pink flag. I'm like, okay, no, that's not a thing.
What?
That
A
you
what?
tried to turn a red flag into a green flag. There is no pink flags.
What was the
Right.
justification behind the? What was the justification behind the pink flag?
The justification, I think, and maybe it's more of a female thing, because there's this idea that many females have about, if I just do this, I'll make him better. Let me just do this, and then he'll be different. And so I think that might be, some of the motivation behind those pink flags.
Oh wow.
It's trying to create a justification as to why what you're seeing dead in front of your face might not be what you're looking at.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Everybody, I guess everybody had to have. Everybody has to have a participation trophy. I guess, huh? I
Yeah,
don't know.
right.
They're trying to create a category for everybody. Yeah, I don't know. They can have all that, but I really don't care. I'm trying to be the best version of myself that I can be. And if I can, as a songwriter once said, if I can help somebody along the way, then my living won't be in vain. You know what I'm saying? But hey,
Hmm.
we'll see how it all ends up. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with some of these red flags. Let me put this up, see if it shows red flag or green flag. That's the scene.
Hold on, I got
Red flag
to plug
or
myself, and I thought we was good to go, but I'm not. I'm not good to go. Okay.
man, take your
What
time.
you
Take
got?
your time, young lady. Oh, my bad. I was singing a song. All right, so I'm gonna give you the first red or green flag, and you let me know. We'll get started with that.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
let's go. I'm gonna put it up if I can see it, because you know it's gonna be little. Let me put it up. Let me put it up big. It says they are still close friends with their ex. Is that a red flag or a green flag?
Mm, I, mm, uh, it's red flag.
It's a red flag. You
I
had to think
mean,
about it. You had to
I
think about
think
it though.
because things can be so situational, but if it has to be forced into a category, then I would say it's a red flag.
What would make it a green flag?
Like, I mean, the question for me is, if you didn't want to participate in the relationship, so you broke up, why are you still participating in the relationship? So to me, the red flag is like you not standing on business. Like when I break up with someone, it's because I don't want to engage in them anymore. I usually have a set of reasons as to why I'm not with them anymore. So I'm not sure why I would keep someone that I didn't want to participate with in my life anymore as a friend. As a friend.
Yeah, I guess the key word there is. So I guess reading my own scenario again, because I did look at it. I guess the key word is close friend, because if they're close friends, yeah, that would be a problem. Now, if y'all are divorced and y'all have children and y'all have to co-parent the children, you may have to talk, have to talk for reasons as such. You know what I'm saying? And so I could see where it could be a red flag. Go
If it
ahead.
was co-parenting, it turns it into a green flag. It means that you're a great communicator.
Yeah, and that's
Right?
yeah. So
So
yeah, exactly. So if it's co-parenting, but and then when you talk about exes, so a lot of people when they talk about their exes, for me, when we talk about an ex, I automatically think like an ex-wife, a divorced person. You know what I'm saying? Not just somebody I was in a relationship with that wasn't, and that could be shallow. It could be according to traditional structure. It could be white man's, having a concept of marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because there's legality there. We
look
raise
at you
children
knowing who
together.
you talking to. You
Yeah,
just
I'm trying to speak your language. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying.
decolonize people,
I'm trying. Hey,
decolonize.
decolonize. That's the word. Decolonize. So looking at it so when I think of divorce, that's what I think of when I think of an ex. Right? I don't really. If I'm like, if I had a relationship with somebody for 6 months, a year, and we ain't leaving no property. We just that ain't. I ain't. I don't know. Maybe am I thinking about that too shallow?
Well, I mean, just because you get married doesn't mean you have children.
That's true. So now, if you don't have children, I don't see no reason to communicate afterwards. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking of
All right.
yeah,
That's a red
yeah,
flag. That's
yeah.
the flag is
So
red. Like,
this is
why? Why are you still talking to your
yes,
ex-wife?
those that are coming in. We're talking about red flags versus green flag, and the question is, why are you still close friends with your ex? And if you are still close friends with your ex, is that a red flag or a green flag? Anne Alexis and I both agree that it is a red flag, unless she
You're
said
co-parenting.
you're co-parenting. That means you're a great communicator because y'all do have to vicariously communicate through the children and for the children. You have
I
to
would love
communicate.
for some people to call in and justify green flags. I know that they're out there. I know that people are out there like I probably sitting with they new ones. With
Man, I
their
gotta
new
put
ones.
look, I don't think the overlay put the phone numbers up. Let me make sure I got the phone number up. I told you I let AI build all my stuff now. So let me make sure I ain't gonna lie, it made it a whole lot easier though.
Oh yes.
A whole lot easier. So let me put the
You
phone
know,
number up.
we wear many hats.
And let me turn on the phone. That would make a difference too.
Oh wow. Lock it up, James.
Bless his holy bless it, bless it. I got to turn the phone on. Wow. There you go.
How you gonna have a call-in show with your phone's not open?
Man, I ain't got the phone on. I ain't got the phone on. I don't have the link in the chat for those. There it is. Look at it. Look at it. Look good too. Four zero
Call
four
in
eight
now.
six
Call in.
zero 2775. Say 77. Just because you're from DC and I want to be the converse of what you say. I'm gonna speak broken English. I'm gonna say seven
If you're
seven.
Arkansas.
Hey, we were the only state that was mentioned in the Bible. People don't understand that Arkansas was the only state mentioned in the Bible. When Noah looked at the ark and saw it wasn't raining anymore, we were the
No, you
only state.
didn't. No,
Yes,
you
we did.
didn't.
No other
You
states is
almost had me for a
no,
minute.
I'm still there. Noah looked at the ark and saw that it was not raining. It was
Almost
not,
had me for a minute.
but he was on DC, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure, but we're gonna figure. We're gonna figure it out. I don't think anybody can justify. I don't know, because a lot of people do keep relationships with their ex, though. I know women specifically that I've dealt with that, like, they might have broken up with the ex and they might be having a conversation with somebody else, like they thinking about moving on. But if they need to get pleasure, they say it's safer to go back to the ex than it is to engage in something new with somebody else. So
Exactly.
that has to be a red.
That's what we know. That's why it's a red flag.
Yeah, that's what red
Because
flag.
you're not standing on business. Why are you knocking on my door if you're still talking to your ex? Figure out what you want, communicate that directly
Communicated directly.
with clarity.
I thought my friends knew I had a show Monday night at night every Monday night at about this time. So they're calling me on my phone right now because they don't realize that I'm on my show. I'm joking. Let me stop.
Should I text some people?
No, yeah, go ahead and text some people, please. Yeah, text them and let them know we're on so we can have some more fun. She gonna say, "I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry. I didn't know you was on your show." Yes, listen, everybody, every Monday. Now about 8:15, because a lot of times Ann doesn't finish with her clients until 8. So from every Monday about 8:15, about this time, we're going to be on with open mic night for the intellectual stew. Now, Ann and I are getting ready to start after hours with Anne Alexis real soon. Yeah. Ann and I are getting ready to start after hours with Anne Alexis and James real soon, right? And now it's not going to be public like this. You're going to have to request the link. Now, we've had about 15 people so far request the link. And ironically, it's been mostly men. So come on, ladies. Let's get in this conversation so we can get deeper
Hit me with that phone number, James, one more time.
404
Mm-hmm.
860 2775. 404-860-2775 for those that want to call in. And oh Lord, somebody left a long message.
Oh
my God.
Exciting. Oh, we struck a nerve. The longer the message.
Yeah, he could have dog. Boy, you could have called in with that message, because I can't even get the whole message. I can't get the whole message in the screen. If I was, let me see if I can read it. In my own life, maybe when I have chosen peace instead of bitterness. He said, okay, so is that a justification for a green flag? He said him and his ex-wife have chosen peace instead of bitterness. We help each other when needed. We respect each other and we care about our family. That doesn't mean our marriage worked out. It means our faith taught us that love, forgiveness, and maturity. I wonder if love and maturity could. Go ahead, Ann. Could I see it in your face?
No, that's my listening face.
Okay.
So they have kids. Sounds like.
No kids.
It says their family. What does that mean?
He was a stepfather.
So they have kids.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. No biological kids, to put it that way. So he has, okay. Gotcha.
Kids are kids. If they were raising kids together, then, that makes sense. But otherwise, like if they didn't, I'm not sure what that would have to do with anything. Because just because you forgive someone and you have an amicable breakup, I'm not sure what that has to do with regular communication. I love people from afar all the time. Just because I don't carry bitterness doesn't mean that I'm talking to you all the time or hanging out at your house. Or
well, let me ask him this question, Fred. Since you put it out there like that, what if you move it into your next relationship? What if it's a problem for the next woman that you're dealing with? Would you respect her enough to dead that relationship with your ex, or is it more important to hold on to the relationship with the ex and not please the current? Is that a fair question, Ann?
Yeah, and I think a question on top of that would be like, what if the roles were reversed and the woman, your ex female, wanted to be hanging out with her ex man all the time? Because I do think double standard is real. Because I'm on Earth, so.
What do y'all think about that? Because we're having this conversation. This is not supposed to be. Ann and I, we talked about it. We established this in the beginning. Ann and I are an entity, so we're one, right? And you all, as the audience, are So we want to have dialogue. We want y'all to talk back to us, right? Fred put a good scenario out there. He said that he has an ex. They had issues in their marriage. Obviously, they got divorced, but somewhere along the way, now they found peace and contentment. Fred, I know he's crazy about that, about the grandbaby, and he helps as much as he can, and all those things. So they've maintained their relationship. But is it a red flag? Why are you still so close to the ex? Is that a red flag or a green flag? Fred said it's not necessarily a red flag; it's a green flag for him. But he's probably writing a paragraph again. And boy, write in bits and pieces. Don't write the full paragraph all at once. Give me a little. Don't bring me the whole mountain. Don't give me the whole elephant. Give me one piece at a time.
Sound bites.
Sound bites. So I can read it all.
But to our point earlier, I definitely think when kids are involved, it's it's a green flag. It's a plus. Mm-hmm. But if there aren't children involved, or for example, if the children are all grown or something like that, definitely emergencies only kind of situation if you're trying to get involved in a new relationship.
So when we say, and that's the caveat, y'all, close friends. We know you're going to have to talk to somebody maybe every now and then. And, we get that. I mean, I think we're saying the same thing, but the key word here is close friends. If you're trying to maintain and you want to call, and every time a song come on and you remember when we was dancing, you remember our first dance, we was, if that, y'all share y'all little moments and all that kind of stuff. And if y'all shake hands and got a little personal handshake, and that's probably a red flag. For real.
Yes.
That's probably a red flag. So
Yeah.
I
I
can
think
see
you and
that.
I are on the same page for sure. But there was hesitation in the beginning when you first asked the question, because there are various caveats to how it could play out. That word of close friends, it's not co-parents, it's not, it's just close friends. So
Well, I appreciate the fact, and listen, you all, this is those who can catch this. This is critical thinking at its finest, okay?
mm,
When you ask somebody a question, most times y'all just jump right to the answer. You just want to, because most times we answer based on the context of our own experience. But what we just said a minute ago, limited exposure produces limited effects. It's always somebody who's experienced something that you've not experienced. And if you listen with filtered hearing, right? If you or with hearing that has other lenses, that allows you to access, I'm drawing on things that Anne is teaching me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I told Anne one time that I'm thinking about moving out the country. And when I said, she said, well, what country? So I told her, she's been to all of them. She could tell me, well, James, I think you would probably be better off in this culture versus this culture because you're used to this. I don't know nothing about that. So since I can't just depend on Chat GPT. I can't just depend on Google. Why not talk to somebody who's actually been there that's going to tell me those things? So when we ask these types of questions, even when I asked her this question here, her response was, I'm going to have to go with red flag. But it wasn't just red flag, because some of you all, that's the first thing you're going to think of because you think shallow, and you really need to broaden your horizons. This brain is a muscle. It can be expanded. If you give it as much as you want and keep feeding it, it will continue to expand and you'll learn to think different, which will open you up to a whole different world that's out there, that's ready to be claimed if you will open yourself up to it and access it. But hang around us long enough. I promise you're going to get there. You're going to get there. All right, let's go to the next one, Ann. You ready?
okay.
Let's go to the next one. Y'all got to talk in the comments because y'all getting on my nerves because y'all not saying that. All right, here we go. This is the next one. 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 Red flag or green flag? I'm trying to make it get larger so I can see. Can you see it? It's taking too long. There we go. Red flag or green flag? They expect an immediate response to every text.
You didn't even have to that one. Red. Red, James, it's red. I'm going to say red, right? Like, how many times have we had this conversation? Not about you and I texting, but just like, yes. Number one, don't expect immediately anywhere around me because I'm working on my time, not your time. I'm not oppressed, right? So I'm not here in service of you. So, but yeah, definitely a red flag. Definitely a red flag because I have a job. So I don't know what you're doing all day, but I'm usually working, right? So my cousin, I wonder if she's listening right now. She's gonna call in. She's like that. Like I text him, he didn't text me back. I'm like, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, don't you want him to have a job? Don't you want him to be busy? But yeah, like that's real. That's real. Um, what do you think? Do you think it's a red flag or a green flag?
I think it's case by case. It's case by case. I'm gonna be honest. When I
Like
say
if you
case,
have kids and I text 911?
no, like some people, I know people who sit there with their phone in their hand all day long. Because when I'm around you, your phone is always in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So if your phone is always in your hand, and I know that your phone is always in your hand, and I'm texting you, then I'm probably going to expect some type of response. You know what I'm saying? Because your phone's in your hand all the time. Now, somebody else that might put their phone down, or if I don't know, like somebody like you, I know that does sessions all day long. I would expect you. And if I chose to deal with you, then I would choose whatever behaviors or whatever, patterns or whatever comes along with that individual, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like I've been with other people in the past that I know just blatantly ignores people's texts. That's my thing. I don't like feeling ignored. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because that's everybody's thing.
Yeah.
But we also come from a time when phones were in a house and not in our pocket. And
Mm.
just because you put a phone in my pocket doesn't mean I have to answer it all the time. I didn't
Yeah.
used to answer it when it was at the house. If I didn't feel like answering, I didn't feel like answering. Just because you want me to answer so that I can entertain you,
Yep.
what is that? I'm not here for your entertainment.
I see that. I see that. And that's one thing for it to be in your pocket all the time. But I'm talking about people I know that literally keep it in their hand all day because they're always scrolling on Instagram and, and scrolling on social media and all that kind
Which
of
to
stuff.
me means that that's where they're invested, right? They're in
Yeah.
the zone. And you're interrupting that by texting. So they're going to stay in that zone. But I mean, to your point, I wouldn't even engage with someone like that because
Yeah.
I know what that means. Someone who always is on their phone, someone that's always hyper scrolling. I wouldn't even have someone like that in my life, like in my personal life.
She said hyper scrolling. And
Yeah.
I know some hyper scrollers. I'm sure all of us know some real hyper scrollers. But what do y'all think? Those that are in the chat, I see it's a few people listening. Is it a red flag or a green flag? If a person, I mean, if you text someone, are you expecting a response? And if they don't respond, is that a green flag or a red flag? How does it make you feel? Anne says she don't give a flip because she said, and if they expect a response and she's not, that's definitely a red flag because that's something that's probably someone that
Because I'm not on call. This is not emergency services to regulate your emotions because you're bored.
yeah.
That's not what
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah,
You know?
and I understand that because I like I said, and I think the more secure I've become with myself, I think that's the more secure I become in dealing with other people because
That part. Why
I
don't you
got that whole
share with everybody the response that you gave me when I was like, my bad. I didn't hit you back for a couple days or whatever it was. Maybe I'm exaggerating. It might have been like texted you later in the evening after you text me in the morning.
no,
What was
it was a couple of days probably.
your
I said I don't give
probably
a.
probably
I
was.
was like
If
I
I'm
don't give
being
a.
real, it probably was. But tell me what you said.
I don't
Tell
give a.
everybody what you said.
I've probably said something like I don't give a flip or something
You
like
don't
that.
talk to
No, I'm
me
joking.
like
I'm
that.
just joking. I'm joking. No, no. Actually, I said I know you're busy. And we have. Oh, I remember what I said. I said I'm more concerned about quality than quantity.
Mm-hmm.
So the quality of our conversation is much more than the quantity of our conversation. Ann and I, when we text, most times we either text or send a voice note. We might literally talk on the phone once a week. Now it might be a 2-hour phone call, but it's a substantive phone call. There are no dead spots. We're not reaching for conversation. And then when the 2 hours runs out and she got to go outside and save the beans from being burned up by the sun, and she got to go right quick, then we hang up and then we go back to texting. And I told her, I know you're a busy person. I know you talk on the phone. You have to engage people all the time. So I'm much more concerned about quality than quantity. And I've gotten to that place in my life because honestly, hell,
You're
I
more
don't like talking.
secure.
I don't like talking on the phone all
Because
the
you're
time.
more secure. Let's just
Yeah,
make it let's just tell the truth. You're more secure in who you are.
very much more.
And so you don't allow other people to step into your life and dictate what it looks like every day. And that's my whole point. Like you said you don't have to even worry about it or say nothing about it.
Yeah.
You said no apology necessary. I know you're busy and you'll get back to me when you get back to me, quality over quantity. And it's true because if you just keep blowing up my phone, you're not going to get a positive response from me. Because if I had the time and I was mentally available to have the conversation, I would be responding. And if I'm not, then why would you keep at it and keep at it and keep at it? Like it's, it's
Fred wrote another
invasive.
book, and Fred wrote another book.
Oh,
Fred wrote.
let's see what Fred has to say.
Fred said, "I think it's all about expectations. If someone has always been quick to respond and then suddenly stops without any explanation, it's natural to wonder what changed. But if they've
Absolutely.
always been a slow texter, then that's just part of who they are. and you shouldn't take it personally. Good
Mhm.
communication is about consistency. People have jobs, families, responsibilities, and live outside of their phones. The key is understanding each. Hey, Fred, boy, hold on. I'm about to give you some minute. The key is understanding each other's communication style, not expecting instant replies every time. That's good, Fred. But I want you to answer the question now: is it a red flag or a green flag, or is it a yellow flag? I go and put it out there. Is it a yellow flag? Man, well, you
Can't do
got
that.
pink
That's
ones.
not the game. That's
You
not the
got
game.
pink ones. You said you got.
I don't have pink ones. I said pink ones are ridiculous. A pink flag. No, that's red by another name.
Fred, is it a red flag or a green flag? Ann said I can't change the rules. She my co-host, so she got as much power as I got on here. So if she
Gotta
said it,
stick
it
to the
is what it
rules.
is.
No yellow flags.
No yellow flag. But I do got to give you one. Where is it at? I got to give
But
you one of
I
these, Fred.
really appreciate what Fred said.
That's a good one, Fred. I had to give you some props on that one. Boy, you
Fred was on top of it. Yeah, I see why
everybody
it took
listening.
him so long. He,
Yeah,
he
he
got
writing a
all the
book.
things in there.
If he learned how to segment those little paragraphs, I could read them, and put them on the screen, and other people could see them. But he want to write the whole.
Break it down. Break it
He said
down.
he's gonna say yellow flag. Now that's how you do it, Fred. One word. Give me 2 or 3 sentences and not 18 of you writing paragraph, 3-point enumeration papers with theses and all. But he's good.
He's
He can write though.
practicing clarity, and I'm
He can
here
write
for
it.
that. He's like, let me make it very clear. Let me put
But
all
Fred said green
caveats.
flag. He said it's a green flag. It's a green flag. That's what he said. It's a green flag. He said if he expects him to respond whatever every text, and he said it's a green flag. So hey, that's his prerogative. I appreciate that, Fred. I appreciate that. I don't know. I don't want nobody to think I'm gonna respond to every text because I'm trying. Honestly, I feel freer when I don't respond to every text because sometimes I just want to throw my phone. When I leave the phone in the house and run to the gas station right quick, I feel so free.
Yes.
I really feel free.
Same.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about it, but I feel so free. It feels like a weight is off my shoulder. And I need to break myself from some of those chains, right?
People don't want to recognize that it's a constant stream of anxiety to be on call to everyone else all the time. It's important to turn off sometimes. It's important to just have your own space doing your own thing. That is when we get to know ourselves better. Sit with your own discomfort, work out your own problems, and you know who you are better.
That's I'm glad you said that. You know who you are better. I had somebody tell me one time. They said, James, sometimes it's really hard to watch your show because you make me deal with my shit. You make me deal with this stuff. And I was just being myself. You know what I'm saying? And so I think when we really learn ourselves, we spend so much time in the mirror fixing flaws. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, I take it back. We spend so much time in the mirror covering up flaws that we rarely take time to fix flaws, right? Because some flaws, and then some flaws are unfixable. So then we have to change our mindset. Is it a flaw? Or is it just who I am? And so if it's just who I am, then why don't I be comfortable in who God made me, or how God made me, right? Because I think we said something the other day. I told you my version of you, and you said something else. But I said every day I become a little more me.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I become a little more me. How did you say it? You said it another way. You remember that?
I can't remember how I said it, but that was essentially what I said.
Yeah, you said the scientific version of it, I think.
I did. I said the fancy version. I'll say the fancy version now too of people who get mad. And it's different if you're ghosting someone, like what Fred said. Like if we've been talking every day and then, I hit you up and then you don't hit me up for 4 days, like that would be that's strange. But you could ask, maybe the person's in the hospital, you don't know. So, but the thing is that anybody who's just getting upset at you because you don't answer every text or every phone call is someone who's trying to emotionally outsource.
Emotionally outsource. Break that down a little bit more. Go give me some more on that.
Emotionally outsource, like they don't want to regulate their own emotions, so they're calling you. They're bored right?
Yeah.
Or they're unhappy, or
So
they're dissatisfied somewhere in their days. Let me call so and so and chat them up. Let me see what, or they feel insecure, right? And so let me hit up James. I don't feel pretty today. Let me hit up James.
sound like you're saying misery loves company.
Yes, it does, why which is why it's a red flag to me.
Yeah.
Because uh I don't want to spend my time emotionally regulating grown people, right?
Yeah.
That's not even what I do in counseling, in coaching. I'm not regulating people's emotions for them. I'm teaching them how to regulate their own emotions.
And I think and what helped me in therapy, because before you can regulate an emotion, you have to be able to recognize an emotion. And so many times our emotions have been, it's like a dead nerve, you know what I'm saying, that needs to be awakened, you know what I'm saying, or that needs to be, well, if it's dead, it has to be resurrected, you know. But
Mhm.
in that, if you don't recognize an emotion, there's no way you can regulate it. I know for years, I mean, my first few therapy sessions were always so many one word answers. Well, how was your day? It was cool. Well, what do you have any wins? No. It was pretty much the same. I do the same thing every day, you know. And then next couple of sessions in now, oh yeah, I felt good. What happened? I folded the clothes. Well, I washed the clothes. I put them in the dryer. Then when I got them out the dryer, I folded them. And then when I folded them, I put them away. And when I got through, I felt so accomplished. She was like, "Good job." But I recognized that little thing, those little emotions, and that sense of accomplishment in that moment, you know, was attached to something so small. But you cannot regulate what you fail to recognize.
Mhm. Mhm. And the reason why she said good job is because you were doing self-care. And that means that your sense of worth is coming back online.
Say it again.
She told
No,
you to,
that last
oh,
part, sense of what?
your sense of worth is
Break that
coming.
down for some, because it's somebody listening right now that doesn't understand. Because see, that is so. I want to say some more, but I'm not going to say it. Well,
You should say it since it was your experience. Tell
yes,
them how your sense of worth was stretched or strained, and why.
mine was stretched because you can have two people, right, and there's one common denominator, but that one common denominator looks at those two people and they see those two people totally different. And the reason why they see those two people so different is because he finds value in one, or more value in one than he does in the other. And the one that he finds value in, he invests in. The other one he employs. Oh my God, that's good. And your employment is only attached to the work that you do, but the investment is attached to the potential that that individual sees in you, because he sees the value. But he can't see value in you if you don't see the worth in yourself. So the moment you see the worth in yourself, and you see yourself even more than your circumstance, even more than your now, because while you're stuck in your now, if you can still envision your next, when a person that really sees the value in you, they don't only see you in your now, they also see you in your next. And so they don't only invest in you where you are, they invest in you where you're going. I need to get an offering on that. Somebody should probably send me a cash app after what I just said. That was
That part, James. Clap for yourself. Turn on the applause for yourself, brother. Do that.
if you said I gotta do it. Yeah, that was good. That was
It
good.
was good.
Yeah.
It's true. It was real. I like how
And
you got
I've
off
experienced
IT.
it. Let me give myself some. Let me give myself. Normally I would hoop right there, but I don't want to do my hooping stuff right now. Oh no, that's the wrong one.
Oh.
My bad. Here it is. My bad. And
Yeah.
I can sing a little bit, but I can't dance. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not the best dancer at all. But all right, so we're still dealing with red flags versus green flags, and this particular one we were dealing with was what was it? Oh yeah. Expecting immediate replies
I
when
think it's
someone
time
texts.
for the next one if nobody
Fred been responding, hadn't he?
Oh,
No,
yes.
not now. I'm talking about he has been responding.
Yes, he has. He likes this
Yes.
game.
All right. They said, this is the next one, red flag or green flag. They say, I don't need anybody. I don't need those people that say they don't need anybody.
Mm,
Is that a red flag or a green flag?
I think it is a red flag.
Okay. Why?
It's definitely giving heart walls.
Heart walls.
Yeah, like life is a collaboration.
Mm.
Point period. Everybody has social needs. Everyone. So if you're under the impression that you don't have any social needs, that would be worrisome to me. And people say that all the time. I used to say that. And then I healed a bit more. Right.
Yeah. I you know, when you and I first started talking about doing a show together, you asked me to send you some content. And I
Mhm.
think one of the shows I sent you was isolation versus introversion. And
Yes.
for years I thought I was an introvert. But then one day I thought about it, I said, no, because I used to be very sociable, and then I thought about it. I had isolated myself so long that I put up what you just said, heart walls. And so when you push everyone away after so long, you end up by yourself. And then there's nobody there. Go ahead.
When yeah, like yes. When someone says I don't need anyone, what I hear is I don't trust anyone.
Mm. And that's an individual who's living through the filter of hurt or
Mhm.
has been violated.
Mhm.
His attachment style was affected and infected at an
Mhm.
early stage because somebody let them down every time. And I could think of things like that in my life. And and I think at a certain point I wouldn't allow myself to trust. I didn't give him a chance. And I think or it was a pseudo trust. You know what I'm saying? I gave you the benefit of the doubt, but the very moment I saw something that didn't look like it,
Cut it.
you
Shut
need
it
to
down.
cut it. You need to cut it. Yeah. I've been there. I've been there. But I think I have been there as one of those. Now I'm not there now.
Mhm.
And and I think it would be a red flag for me too if somebody, because I naturally feel I man, I tried to date an Aquarius. That was you talking about pain. Ugh, that was torture. But anyway, now you talk about somebody that don't make you feel needed. When I
Yeah.
tell you they don't make you feel needed because they gonna do, because that behavior pattern changes every week. You and I, we cool. We not. Ann and I are just friends. But I know kind of what to expect. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But to just go missing for 3-4 days and then all of a sudden pop back up like ain't nothing happened, and well, I had to go recharge I'm like, that's just too much. You know what I'm saying? That was just too much. So if you don't need anybody, then you go ahead and be by yourself. Because if I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody, to some degree, especially if you know my love language and I know your love language. If I know your love language, that's like a cheat code for me, right? If I know that your love language is sending and receiving gifts, then I'm probably gonna show up with flowers or candy or something. 'Cause that's a cheat code, right? I mean, if I'm in the wilderness or I'm in the woods and somebody has left a trail of breadcrumbs that's gonna help me get to my end destination, best believe I'm gonna follow the breadcrumbs. So if somebody has told me that their love language is quality time or their love language is words of affirmation, and I've chose to engage that individual, then I'm going to love them on their love language. Vice versa. If they know mine is quality time or they know mine is words of affirmation and they choose to do something totally contradictory or opposing to what I'm, hold on. I got something for that. Hold on. Let me go show this joker real fast. There it is.
Huh?
promise you that is a red flag for me. And it's not even a matter of having to coddle me or anything of the sort. But if we've chosen to be a part of each other's life, then I think we got to put some type of effort. What do y'all think? Y'all, those who are listening, Chauncey, Sandra, Fred, is it a red flag for when you hear somebody in a relationship say that they don't need anybody? They don't need anybody. And if y'all don't have an answer, we always got another scenario. We're gonna get our way through this. This is good practice for us, Anne, because we're gonna get this thing down. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna get this
I
thing
mean,
down.
that's one of our, as Black women, that's like one of our favorite phrases, So I, you know, I definitely spend a lot of time saying that. But to your point, you heal, you become more self aware, you see the ways in which you're limiting your own expansion, and it shifts. You
This
open up.
shit. You
Mm.
it's a heart wall.
Mhm.
And you have to have strength to run through troops and leap over walls. You know what I'm saying? Or at a certain point, if a person, I used to always say, if a person really wants you to be in their life or be with them, they're gonna give you breadcrumbs. You know, they're gonna give you a path. To get there. Now they might make you jump over a couple of hoops. You know what I'm saying? Or they really want you to find the destination. So they're gonna, because I've seen, I remember I said it was certain things I said I would never do. Like as I said, I would never hold a woman's purse. I said, I ain't holding a woman's purse. That ain't what I'm doing. But in a relationship, I found myself a woman hand me the purse, and I naturally holding it. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what I just do? That ain't what I said. But I didn't mind doing it for that individual because what you say you will do. Yeah. So I'm very cautious about it. But that needing you, yeah, I need you. All right, look, we've been on here for an hour. We're gonna do one, maybe two more, and then we're gonna get out of here. All right. So
Okay.
here's the next one. Here is the next one. This one says they expect you to heal wounds you did not create. They expect you to heal wounds. Like they done brought their baggage into the relationship,
I'll
and
let you I'll let you answer that first.
um, well, I'm gonna answer it like this. Part of me was I almost say it's a green flag because I do like to feel needed, and men by nature are fixers, right? So we do want to try to fix what we think is broken, right? Some men take things where we real men we used to take things apart just to put them back together because we thought we were fixers. But if I know somebody is really really wounded, I don't think it's fair of them to because in the statement it says they expect you to heal wounds. So if they expect me to heal it, then that's going to be a red flag for me. If they come in knowing that they are now, if they don't know they're wounded, you know what I'm saying, because this stuff might be underlining, you know what I'm saying, or she might have been raised, she might have daddy issues, right, because she never had a father growing up, and so somebody has to help give her, here it is, make the atmosphere feel safe enough for her to allow a man to lead her because she's never been led by a man. All she saw was a woman. So I could see that. I wouldn't necessarily see that as a red flag. Okay. But if they are knowingly aware of their wounds or they haven't taken the time to heal and they know they're rushing, then that to me is a red flag. If they go, because first time I hear something about your ex and he did it like this or y'all or that, y'all are, I hate that. I hate to hear that statement, and y'all men or most men or y'all, y'all men do this or
Oh.
y'all men do that, or these men. Oh, that irks me. These men, y'all men, because I got my own fingerprints and I did my own work. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I don't fall in a lot of those categories that they put some of those dudes in. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
for me, if they know that they have a wound or wounds that have not been healed and they're expecting me to automatically, then that is a red flag for me. But I did give context. I gave context. What about you?
Um, I agree that it is a red flag because of the word expectation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because of course you want, so also I never think of people as broken because I don't know. I don't even know. It's, you know, like if something can be repaired, how broke is it? You know, like, so I think that people can be out of balance, but it is a individual person's job on earth to figure out what their balance is and keep it maintained. Um, it's
And
just the way.
that is a buzzword. People being in alignment. That's a real. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. That
Mm-mm.
is that's a real buzzword. You know, 'cause we got a whole bunch of buzzwords out here now. You know that. But that alignment piece is that's a good one though. You know, when you're in alignment. You know, and it depends on if you look at it in a Christian perspective or whatever. You know, facets you look at it from. Alignment means. Tell us what your definition of alignment means.
Alignment means that you're doing things that are designed for your greater good, your own um, emotional expansion, right? What is in synchronicity with your purpose, and
Yeah,
with the
that's it.
deepest understanding of yourself. And the thing is about expectation, what that means to me is that you're not taking accountability and you lack self-awareness, right? If you have an expectation that I should solve the problems that you have participated in manufacturing throughout your life, because at a certain point we can't keep blaming our parents and we can't keep blaming um,
Good.
the experiences that we've had. That is a victim mindset, and I take people and bring them into the mindset of being victors. So while all of us have been victimized in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form, that's very different than living your life as a victim. And
Mm,
if you expect that other people are supposed to fix your problems, then you're not taking accountability for the role that you play in perpetuating those problems in your life, which means that your emotional intelligence is not high enough to to engage with to engage with me. Like that's just me,
but that,
because like I tell you, James, I don't want to feel like I'm at work when I'm not at work.
yeah, but
So,
that you said something
and I have my
in
own healing to do. Why am I taking on yours? I have my own.
well, and you said
We can
something
do it
key and critical.
together. But
You said something key and critical in the beginning. You said in the beginning of that soliloquy, you said when you have synchronicity of purpose,
mhm.
when you really know what your purpose is, right? Then everything. You know, I like to dumb it down a little bit, but I think, but when you're aware of what's supposed to be on the equal side, the right side of the equal sign. You know what I mean? You know what the sum, the product. If you start backwards, you know, I know people like to show their work and they say it's not right until you show your work. I'm just about coming up with the answer. You know what I'm saying? And whatever I have to
Thank
do
you.
to come up with that answer, then as long as I know what the end looks like, then the rest for me is project management. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I was having a conversation with Chat GPT today, and I told him, I said, let me tell you something, Chat. That's how I talk to it. I really do. I said, let me tell you something, Chat. I don't understand all this coding and all this stuff. I said, you give me all these explanations, but then you don't tell me how to do it. I said, tell me how to do it first, then just tell me what you did. And they said, okay, James, you're not a prompt engineer, you're a program manager. Duh. And if we ever learn to become program managers of our life or our lives, because we understand what's on the equal sign, other side of the equal sign, we know what we're trying to produce. We know what we're trying to outcome. I think some people call it vision, some people call it goals. You know,
Mhm.
some people call it a plan. You know, but when we know what it looks like or what the end looks like, it's so much easier to move with expectation because I know that I'm trying to manifest something that I've already envisioned what the end looks like. And it's so much easier to move like that.
Spot on, James. And to build on that and what you said about trends, right? These trends, like people stay asking other people what they did to get where they are, as if they can just follow along that same path and achieve the same goal. But even to your point that you made earlier about the uniqueness of our fingerprint, so is our healing journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't even know what someone would expect you to do besides constantly be regulating their emotions for them. And when we enable people, we disable people from doing their work,
That's good.
from actually improving their well being. And I don't want to be with someone who does not have any sense whatsoever of how to improve their well being or to regulate their emotions, because that's the definition of usury, effery, and toxicity.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go back to our previous conversation.
Mhm.
Ann and I were talking, and Ann had an emotional moment, and my me and my maturity handled it different this time than I would have handled it years ago. She had this moment, and I said,
Same.
we're sending voice notes. We're sending voice notes to each other, and I said, "Well, I don't know how to support you in this moment." I said, "But I'm here if you want to talk. And what you did doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just happened." And she said, "I don't need you to help me regulate my emotions. I'm a grown woman. I can handle it. Just give me the space to process what I'm going through." Now, that's a healthy dialogue. That's not her expecting me to help her regulate her emotions. That's me. Now, it's also me being concerned about her emotions. And in that moment, I said, "Tell me how to help you." She said, "The only way you can help me is by letting me help myself." I backed up. 15 minutes later, she understood the purpose, the synchronicity of purpose, what we're talking about. She understood even the purpose by what she was going through, even in that painful moment. And it all made sense in a moment because we were able to have a conversation and regulate, and she self-regulated in that moment. And then boom, we even grew as friends in that moment, just and just learning that little bit about each other. So
Mhm.
those are things that we, as in relationships and dealing with each other in interpersonal communication, uh, that's how you deal with people. You can't expect anybody to be the conduit to your healing. That's your journey. That's your journey. But as I said, and Anne affirmed just a moment ago, before you can regulate an emotion, you
Mhm.
have to recognize the emotion.
Mhm.
Talk about that for a minute, because we're going to get off here. Talk about what are some things we can do to start to recognize the emotions that we need to deal with.
One of the most important things to do is to take a breath. Like, whenever you feel strong emotions rising up, because they almost always start in the body system, like your face gets hot, you feel some gurgles in your belly, your chest gets tight, your jaws get tight, your shoulders, there's almost always initially a physical response to what's happening before the emotional um the emotional language starts coming out of your mouth.
Right.
So it's at that point that you want to take a beat. And because we're adults, I'm not interested in hearing that you can't do that, that you can't not be reactionary. It's a choice to be reactionary. It's a
It is.
choice not to be reactionary. So the thing is that whenever you feel a strong emotion, it is much more likely about your ish than it is someone else's, because most things out there are fairly benign.
Mhm.
We apply meaning to things. Just like I'm not afraid of
Clip that.
spiders because a spider's a spider, but somebody else is. They apply meaning to it. Fear. They apply the emotion to it, anxiety. So when you take that beat, what you ask yourself is, what about this is coming up for me that's making me so upset? You do that instead of sending a really long text message that says, why aren't you texting me? Why don't you ever text me back? You know, you take a beat, you put your phone down, and you ask yourself with your hand over your heart because it's an automatic nervous system regulator.
Hmm.
You put your hand over your heart when you feel those strong emotions come up, and you ask yourself, because you're the one with the feelings, why would it be someone else's? Are you a puppet?
Wow.
No, it's you are having the feelings, and so the thing is to figure out why. It's just about connecting the feelings in the body to the thoughts in the mind, and the more we can slow things down, the easier that is to do.
That's
That's what
good.
we call self-awareness. And then once you have self-awareness, it's much easier to take accountability because you stop blaming everybody for how you made me feel like this. You made me feel like that. Really? How? Because you're grown. Or you're choosing to feel that way, right? Like
Pretty much.
my insecurity, your insecurity is my fault. Your daddy issues are
That's
my
right.
fault. Your mother wound is my problem. No, it's yours. You know, and so that's how we start to recognize what our triggers are. Once we recognize what our triggers are, we gain a lot of control over situations because we learn to recognize this is a situation that I don't like, that doesn't make me feel comfortable. And then we can learn how to navigate it over time, and heal from it. And then it loses its power over us.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Sitting in discomfort makes it more comfortable until it stops being uncomfortable at all. Right. So that's what meditation is always doing. It's forcing you to sit in discomfort. And then the better you are at it, the more you're able to do it, the less uncomfortable everything feels, the more in control of your emotions you are, because you're able to not allow those feelings to build up and then you react to them. Well, I feel uncomfortable. Let me wiggle. Oh, I feel like this. Let me do that. Oh, I feel itchy. Let me scratch. No,
Mm.
sit in the discomfort. It will go away because it will stop registering as discomfort. We like to feed negativity. We're taught to feed negativity in this society. That's why I'm not messing with anybody that's hyper scrolling, because that's what they're doing. They're just looking at stuff that is like low frequency.
That's cool. That's good. Yeah, yeah, this is good stuff, and this is a precursor of what you all are going to be getting on After Hours with Anne Alexis and James. Tonight, we've been playing red flag or green flag and giving different scenarios.
That was fun.
We all That was fun. We also have finish the sentence. I have scenarios for that. I
Oh.
also have scenarios for myth or truth.
Ooh.
And I got a couple of other things as well that we're going to be dealing with on the show. And we're going to continue to have fun doing those things. And because we're able to take those scenarios, analyze them, psychoanalyze them, look at them from both sides, male side, female side, divorce side, single side, whatever, just different perspectives and healthy perspectives. And guess what it is? There are really no right or wrong answers.
Mm-mm.
They're your
Nope.
answers, and that's all that really matters is your answer. I think anything that can't stand scrutiny ought not to be able to stand. So we can have a discussion.
Don't judge the journey. Just stay on it.
Just stay on the journey. Just stay on the
Mhm.
journey. So I'm gonna. We've been on here about an hour and 15 minutes, and I know Ann has been on the computer all day today, so I'm gonna give her a break, and we're gonna say good night. But listen, we're gonna be coming soon with After Hours with Ann Alexis and James. If you have not requested the link, Ann made me fix it. I fixed it, so it's right now. She made me fix it, so it's right. The process looks like this.
I
You
encouraged you to fix it.
I don't mind saying made. I'm confident in my own skin. I'm good with that.
Mhm.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm cool with that. It kind of turned me on a little bit. But but joking.
Whoopsh.
But but when you request the link, I send it to you. You click on it. Request. It's going to put you in a dashboard or give you access to a dashboard, and I'll turn you on, and I'm able to communicate with you all through email and let you know when we have these shows. These shows at first will not be public, and it's a reason why we're doing that. All right, because you can bring your own. You tell them what they can do, and they can bring their own inhibition.
Yeah, you can. It's because the aim is for it to be a safe space. So if it's not made public yet, then everybody understands that they can come in, speak their mind, and not be judged.
And if you come in there, judge, and I've been stretching, and I will punch you about 75 yards down the field out this group so fast if you come in there with those judgmental spirits. So unless Ann that tells me not to, or request that I not. I'm sorry, request that I not. But
Sometimes we got to work with people through it, but
I will
I hear
I
you.
will pull a hamstring punting at 75 yards. I promise you I will. Don't coming up with that bull stuff for real, because we trying to do work and we're gonna have fun for
Yeah.
real. Like these red flags and green flags. I'm gonna even make them a little more shallow so y'all enjoy them a little bit more. We're gonna have some more fun for real. We are, because when we start, because it's so many different perspectives, and you're gonna see how exposure has produced a different effects in different people, because people have only been exposed to so much. If you never left your neighborhood, you don't know nothing about outside. You don't, and that's okay. Something It's crazy how you can take somebody out of the city and show them the ocean, and it'll change their whole world, because the ocean looks like a never-ending entity that just keeps going, going and going and going and going. And as powerful as it is, I mean, whenever I'm near an ocean, I literally sit down, close my eyes, and just feel it. I love sitting out there in the dark and just feeling it, because it's so powerful. But if you've never been exposed to that, you couldn't even embrace it, and
Mhm.
you could not really experience its effects. But it's so much more out there. Listen, we're about to close, so Ann, give me your 1 minute. Give me your 1 minute closing, and then or 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever. But give me your closing, and then I'm gonna say some couple of things, and then we're gone.
I don't know. I enjoyed this. It was really fun. You can talk to me more at annalexisholistic.com. I am at the Emotion Coder on TikTok and Instagram. And if you're wondering about how to really align with who you truly are and how to re-empower, embrace your best self, re-empower yourself, decolonize your mind. Trust me, you are colonized. Then reach out. Um, yeah, I enjoy doing this with you. I'm excited for the games. I'm excited for the after hours time. I'm excited to put some people on to more limitless thinking. And thank you for having me.
Man, having you can put up you can put up a mailbox. You can hit a forwarding address and start receiving mail at this address, because we're gonna have you more often, ma'am.
I mean,
Yeah.
I need to get it. I need to tighten up my closer because you keep hitting me last minute, like, do it. And I'm like, I don't know.
If you do it, you're gonna do it 2 or 3 times. You're gonna be cold. Listen, I remember
That's right.
when I first started
My learning
preaching.
curve is quick.
Look, when I first started preaching, my second or third month, I never will forget my pastor. He's like, I don't know when I'm gonna preach. Give me a minute, Kirk. Come on. Okay. And so ever since then, it's in the moment for me, man. I got a few notes, but I ain't really looked at them tonight. So it is what it is. And some people make it easy to flow. So I told you earlier, we just gonna flow, and I like the flow. I do. And these red flags versus green flags, I think it's so much in there. Those of
Mhm.
you all that didn't get to hear them tonight, the red flags and green flags we dealt with were close friends with an ex. Is that a red flag? Or if somebody texts and they demand immediate replies, is that a red flag? And then we did with someone who says that they don't ever need anybody. Is that a red flag? And then we also did with someone who expects you to heal their old wounds. And pretty much all those are pretty much red flags. Now we could find,
I noticed that.
yeah, they pretty much were all, except but we were able to find green flag scenarios in there though. For instance, if it's communication on one, and I even said if it's someone who doesn't know, well, we said if they know, we expect them. That one little word changes a sentence every time. That one little word changes a scenario every time. That one
But you
little
know,
word.
we can break it down, make it even easier. High heels or flip flops, natural hairs or weaves. What we, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
what
And we
people
will
looking at all the time.
do that in the after hours, and we might
Mhm.
even make I might make the first couple of after hours public. I might
Just give people a little tasty taste.
Give them a little tasty taste. And I might make the first couple public. But then after that, it's gonna be an invitation. Well, request, not invitation, request. They can
Pee only.
They ain't got to pay though. They don't have to pay though. But they can definitely pay though. They don't have to pay, but they can definitely pay because we definitely take
RSVP only.
Yeah, we take Cash App, we take Zelle, we take all that there. And it's been a plum pleasing pleasure having you on tonight. And I don't even have any closing words, honestly, because I've had fun. I've enjoyed. It's always a good conversation when you're talking to smart people. I ain't gonna lie. It's intimacy. I think that's the word you use. It's refreshing. It's refreshing.
Very intimate discussion. Fred weighed in, and I can appreciate everything that he shared so much. I like that he felt invested enough to even say so much.
He said a lot
that's
too.
Winning. That's winning.
He
Fred's
said a lot
doing
too.
the work. That's what that means. People should have something to say.
Fred. I don't think Fred has ever had a problem communicating. I don't think he's ever had a problem communicating. Fred's one of my best friends, honestly, in Little Rock, Arkansas. One of my best friends. So I'm glad he's listening tonight. Now, don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted when anybody listens. So I appreciate all y'all. But as I always say in closing, I'm gonna let you stay here with me because you're prettier than me and you make me look better. So stay. Do we look good together, y'all? I'm just playing. But anyway, the world is changing. And that's what it says on my shirt. The world is changing. My question for you is, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good night. And I ain't gonna say next week. We'll see you next time. How about that?
Intellectual stew. Oh, we're cooking something true. Intellectual stew, real raw and relevant for you. With James Kirklin guiding through the deep, the light, the old, the new. Intellectual stew. Yeah, we're stirring up the view.